Okay, Nicole, Coco Chanel it is. Great choice. My wife is gonna love this one. Um, she's a big fan. Anyway, so color schemes, good. Yes. Now, in color schemes, always put yourself in check. Look at your color schemes and say, hey, do my color schemes match the basic personality of the person that I'm depicting in this particular case? So, put yourself through check there and see if that passes the test. Okay, now front and back cover I think are pretty cool, as made to resemble the iconic Chanel bags with the kind of the patchwork. So that's fantastic, quilted patchwork. That's fantastic. Inside cover, that's a designed page. Don't forget, all pages are designed. This is a booklet. It's not set up like a book where, of course, you have a couple of blank pages specifically on the inside cover. So that inside cover will have to be designed. I think that's an interesting choice right there. However, if you're going to follow the suggested page content from the class, specifically week 6, project 3, part 1, planning and sketches page, you'll see that page 2 and 3 indicate a brief biography with supporting images. So we don't have that here. Now, I'm okay with you not following the prescribed content as put forth in the class. That's okay, as long as you include all of the pertinent information. So I would highly recommend we don't have any pages at all, any blank pages at all. So, okay, so this looks like a bio page. That's great. Timeline, that's a really super interesting. That's interesting. I wonder if you can incorporate some sort of a visual correspondence with the timeline. So in other words, instead of just presenting the year, I wonder if you can draw some connection to the, Coco Chanel's iconic design and the assembly and construction and presentation of the timeline itself. Think about that. We're referring to visual correspondence where you're using a portion of the individual's technique or style to create a technique and style depicted in the brochure. Over here, these two pages, I'm a little concerned about these two pages only because you're really, really consuming an entire page with one little headline. I don't recommend that. I recommend really taking a close look at the content recommendations as given in that planning and sketches page. So yeah, and don't forget, this is basically, this is a type and layout class. So we really need to practice our typography techniques here as opposed to just consuming one page with just an entire page. There's only 12 pages here. And right now you've got 2 of them, actually 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3 with no or very, very limited design. Check that, make that page 4 and page 5. Because right now they're page 10 and 11. That should be a closure page and a reference page. So keep that in mind. All right, now back to page 2. Page 2, that would be page 2 is the inside of the front cover, okay? So for example, when you open up the front cover, that first spread right there, that's gonna be page 2 and 3 right there, okay? So keep that in mind. I'm gonna talk about the dummy in 1 second. I'm calling this a dummy, it's a mock-up. So, okay, so yeah, watch that stuff like that. You definitely wanna make sure that you have all of this information, and I'm right over here in this week 6 project 3 part 1 planning and sketches page, specifically in the content recommendation section. So try to include all of that information, not necessarily in that order, but I would definitely recommend not consuming pages with things like drawings. I'm assuming these are Coco Chanel drawings and just a little bit of text. So really, really try to follow those recommended page sections and see if you can incorporate all of that content into the presentation, into the booklet. I'm not real sure what this page is. This kind of, to me, it looks like no, that's page 12. See, that doesn't work. Page 12 is the back cover. So I'm not real sure what this and this is. I want to show you how this thing works, this mock-up. And before I do that, so those are my comments on your sketches. So think about that moving forward. Now, I want to go over the mock-up, and before I do that, I just want to say this is really super important. Be sure to view welcome to week 7 announcement and then how to set up your booklet. This is critical. You got to watch this. But as a kind of a introduction to what's happening in that video is this, and I want you to think about this. This is what I want you to do, and this will make sense with your sketches. And a lot of my comments will make sense here. But what you want to do is you want to take 3 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, right? And you're gonna basically you're gonna mock up a dummy here. Okay, so you have three 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper. You got to put them together like this and fold them. So you're yielding a folded 5.5 by 8.5, right? So this is 8.5 by 11. Folded in half is going to yield 5.5 by 8.5. The width is 5.5. The height is 8.5. Okay, so at that point, what you would do is this: is you would mark the pages on this front cover and then turn it over, right? And this would be page 2 and page 3. Then next 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9, 10 and 11, and then the back cover is going to be page 12. All right, so the front cover and the back cover is page 1 and 12 respectively. Then what I want you to do is once you take a look at this, you'll keep it folded and start looking at the page spreads. Yes, page 2 is spread with page 3, 4 and 5, etc. But then I want you to take it apart and see what page it's spread with in the actual print, okay, before the booklet is assembled. And that'll really give you a good idea on how page imposition works. Page imposition is the way the spreads are ordered. The page numbers in the spreads are ordered in order to make sure that the spreads are accurate. Okay, so definitely build up your model here and study it. Again, in summary, it's front and back cover, and then start on page 2. So the first spread is page 2 and 3. Okay, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, and then the back page is 12, yielding a spread, front cover and back cover of page 1 and 12, okay? Put it together, study it for a while. If you're not completely understanding it, just put it down, walk away, study it again, and then you'll start to understand how page imposition works in multi-page layout. Okay, so those are my recommendations. Any questions, comments, concerns, clarifications, any of the above, please let me know. I'll be glad to provide in that regard. All right, thank you, Nicole. Great start, and if you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you.